In this video, I'm going to show you why most people, including you, are destined to fail at losing weight unless they change this one thing. These are the exact same tips that I give to all my students, and they've all gone to see some amazing results. So you know it works. Before we get started, give this video a like, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to get notified every time I post a new video every week. It's a brand new year, which means that this is also the time when people make New Year's resolutions. New year, new me, right? But did you know that most resolutions don't even make it past February? A lot of people have the right intention to change, but just the wrong execution. That's just the reality of it. And I talk a lot on my channel about the little intricacies in terms of the optimal diet, foods to eat, and other supportive lifestyle choices, so make sure you check those out. But people often miss out on this one crucial thing, even though they have all the tools I just mentioned, which then eventually leads them to failure. Fortunately, you're in the right place. I want to share a quick story with you for this to make sense. A few years ago, I owned a fish tank. Let's just say I had a lot of spare time in my hands. I was also single. So I got this really big fish tank and I put 3 giant goldfish in it. I actually quite enjoy this hobby. If you've ever been to an aquarium or you have your own fish tank, it's really therapeutic watching fish swim around. But then one day, one of the goldfish got sick. It was swimming upside down. I'm not a fish doctor, but I don't think fish are supposed to swim that way. I was starting to panic. Anybody who owns a pet can relate to this. These are your babies. I also have a pug and my stress level was up to here. The few times he's gotten sick, it's usually because he ate something he wasn't supposed to. Why do dogs do that? It's like you don't feed them. But it's usually so much worse when your pets get sick because they can't talk. It's the same thing when babies get sick. They can't tell you what's wrong because they can't talk yet. Anyway, I went back to the pet store and I asked the fish guy, dude, how do we fix this? And he said something very profound. So thanks, fish guy. He said, when your fish gets sick, you don't treat the fish. That's not the right way to do it. It's not gonna get better. Instead, you treat the water. You treat its environment. So he gave me some stuff to put in the water and lo and behold, the fish got better. And they all lived happily ever after. And I think that's such a great analogy because it applies to a lot of things in life. You see, if you wanna change, if you wanna lose weight and transform your body, you don't treat the fish. You treat the water. You treat its environment. You're the fish, by the way, if you haven't figured that out. Translation, if you change your environment for better or worse, and I'm gonna give you some levels here, your life will change. Plain and simple, your environment determines your chances of success. A majority of people don't change their environment and wonder why they fail time and time again. Because again, if you just treat the fish, it might get better, but you have to eventually put it back in the contaminated water. That's like going to rehab for an addiction and you get better, but when you come out, you go back to the place that got you hooked to begin with. You're just destined to relapse. But if you treat the environment, then the fish will eventually get better. That's how you give yourself the best possible chance to succeed. You want to treat the cause, not the symptom. For example, if you have metabolic syndrome, meaning you have abdominal obesity, elevated blood pressure, elevated blood sugar, high triglycerides, and low HDL cholesterol, which drastically increases your risk of heart attack, stroke, and diabetes, that is a disease caused by poor lifestyle and nutrition. It only makes sense that you treat it by improving your lifestyle and nutrition because that's what caused it, rather than getting your stomach stapled, which is permanent, by the way. You can't reverse bariatric surgery or getting liposuction, taking cholesterol pills like statin or blood sugar medication like metformin to make the symptoms go away. That's like putting a band-aid on a paper cut when you're hemorrhaging all over your body. Here's the thing. People don't really get fat from a lack of exercise alone. In fact, there are more gyms in the US per capita than anywhere else on the planet. Coincidentally, the US also has some of the highest rates of obesity in terms of developed nations, topping at around 40%. On top of that, 3 out of 4 American adults are in the overweight or obese category. And a mind-boggling 88% have some form of metabolic dysfunction. That's almost 9 out of every 10. Childhood obesity is also at an all-time high. So if you got fat from poor nutrition, what makes you think that spending countless hours at the gym doing cardio is gonna fix it? That's just not how it works. And I'm not saying you shouldn't do it. Exercise has many benefits. It's unbelievably good for you. I always like to say that if the benefits of exercise could be put in a pill, it would be the greatest blockbuster medication of all time. And you can get it for free. Some of the awesome benefits include better insulin sensitivity, reduced stress, improved brain health, reduced risk for chronic disease, enhanced detoxification. It slows down the aging process. It improves sexual function, just to name a few, but weight loss isn't one of them. That explains why you see the same people on the cardio machine every day sweating their hearts out. Maybe you're one of them, but they look the same. They're not getting a good return on their investment. If that's news to you, you're welcome. Now you know better. The point that I'm trying to make is you have to fix your diet to reverse metabolic syndrome. The best way to do that is to change your environment, because you can have all the motivation and willpower on the planet, but if you don't change your environment, you're not going to succeed. And we're going to talk about a few levels when it comes to your environment, because you always fall back to your habits. We're creatures of habits. Our brain makes us develop habits so we can focus on more important things. things. So if you have the right environment, you're automatically going to create good habits from that and thrive. The reverse is also true. If you're trying to change, but your environment is not conducive to you succeeding, it's almost virtually impossible to change. It's going to be very hard. You're simply stacking the odds against you. You're going to be rowing upstream the entire time. So let's talk about 4 levels of your environment. There are levels to this. Let's start with your lowest hanging fruit, which is where you live. If you're trying to change, but your house is littered with trigger foods, it's going to be very hard to lose weight. In fact, you're not going to lose weight if you always have a stash of your caloric kryptonite or trigger foods at home. Why? Because human beings are not wired for self-control. If it's there, especially if it's visible, you can only say no to it so many times. And this is such an easy fix. That's why we're starting with this, because you're mostly in control here. There's only one rule you need to follow, and you should be able to guess what it is. Don't stock bad food at home. Don't stock trigger foods. If you really want it, that's fine. You can schedule it, have it outside your house, but don't bring any leftovers home. Again, this is such a low-hanging fruit that will automatically translate to results if you just commit to it. Because what you stop eating has far more impact to your health than what you start eating. For example, if you just take out bread, cereal, cookies, candy, granola bars, protein bars, ice cream, pop, or whatever other trigger foods you have at home, if you take out all those things and you replace it with better alternatives, and then you start making better lifestyle choices, you start getting more active, you go out for a walk, you stop binge watching Netflix or play video games until the break of dawn, you start getting better sleep, I'm willing to bet a lot of money that you're gonna lose weight. You're gonna start feeling better overall, you're gonna have more energy, you start to feel more alive, you activate your success mechanism, and you're gonna wanna start doing more of those things. Nobody wants to feel like crap all the time. New identities require new evidence. If you keep casting the same votes you've always cast, you're gonna keep getting the same results you've always had. If nothing changes, nothing is gonna change. And if you want a proven step-by-step plan on how to make these tiny little changes that add up to staggering results, then make sure to stick around until the end of the video. But again, it starts with your own surroundings. You need to fix that first. Start from within. Do a little housekeeping because it goes a long way. Number 2 is your environment with people in close contact with you. These are the people that you willingly surround yourself with. We're social beings. We need people around us. It's actually extremely unhealthy to not have any close human connection. So first, let's talk about the people you surround yourself with. These are your chosen friends. Ever heard of the saying, birds with the same feather flock together? If you're always hanging out with people who eat like crap, guess what? You're probably, most likely, gonna eat like crap as well. Remember, you are the average of the 5 people you spend time with the most. Think about the 5 people you hang out with all the time. You're most likely gonna be the average weight of all 5 of those people. A great example of this are families who live together. Think about a family of 5, more likely than not, they all usually walk around at the same size. It also means that if you always hang out with negative people, you're probably gonna be a negative person as well. This concept applies financially as well. If you're always hanging out with broke people, you're gonna end up adapting their negative habits in terms of money, and you're gonna be broke as well. What I'm trying to say here is you really need to start evaluating who you spend time with the most, because time is your most valuable asset. You can always make more money, but you can't make more time. If you're always consciously spending time with the wrong people, you can't just magically turn back the clock. That's why I'm extremely allergic to negative people. And you can sense the energy of these people right away. They're just always complaining about everything. I run away from those people. If you're trying to make sweeping changes to your life, you decide that you want to get healthy, so you're trying to make positive changes to your diet, but your friends make fun of you, maybe they give you a hard time and they don't support you, then you need better friends. This is that crabs in a bucket mentality. You never have to put a lid on a bucket of crabs because they're always going to want to pull each other down. People can be like that as well. The easiest way to improve this is you want to start hanging out with people who already have what you want, because those people are going to force you to level up. Again, we rise or fall to the level of our surroundings. Like if they're already lean, they're fit, they're healthy, they know how to take care of their bodies, or they're working towards that, guess what? That's gonna start rubbing off on you. You're gonna start adapting those healthy habits as well. That's just how it works. It's human nature. We're adaptation machines. We're like chameleons. We always adapt to our surroundings. This is why joining a gym, if you can, is so beneficial when it comes to losing weight. It's more than just lifting weights when you go to the gym, because right away, you're automatically surrounding yourself with like-minded people who are trying to lose weight, get fit, and improve their health, just like you. Nobody goes to the gym because they want to be unhealthy. That's just not a thing. Group fitness classes are even better when it comes to this. Let's say you do CrossFit, HIIT, bar, martial arts, or bootcamp style classes, you're usually working out with the same people, which automatically creates a community. You can start hanging out with those people. If you're single, this is an unbelievably convenient way to meet like-minded people, because you know right away that you and your potential partner share an important core value, which is health and fitness. Speaking of partners, this is a big one that does not get brought up enough. If you're dating someone and you live together, try to get your partner involved with what you're doing, because you spend a lot of time with that person. Try to make them your accomplice. I always love it when couples do a weight loss transformation together. Talk about growing together as a couple. But if your partner doesn't support you, and this happens unfortunately, it's going to be very hard for you to lose weight and you're going to be faced with some interesting decisions. I'm not a relationship coach, but so many people stay in crappy and even toxic relationships simply because they're too comfortable and they've gotten used to it. They can't see that their relationship is actually weighing them down and is actually holding them back from changing their lives. If that's you, you really need to evaluate your current relationship and see if that person is adding value to your life or maybe they're actually taking away from it. Number 4, I kind of brushed on this already, your environment when it comes to your family. One of the biggest things that I've learned is you can love your family from a distance. If you're trying to make sweeping changes in your life but your family isn't on board with it, then you simply need to start spending less time with them. Here's the thing, you don't get to choose your family, but you can choose how much time you spend with them. I know, unpopular opinion. For example, if you have a history of metabolic syndrome in your family, maybe your immediate family is headed towards that direction and you want to stop that trend, you need to look after yourself first. You need to save yourself first. During an emergency on a plane, they always tell you to put your own oxygen mask first before you can start helping other people. Right? In my opinion, that's actually the best way to help your family. If you have family members that are trending towards metabolic syndrome and you want to help them reverse that, I firmly believe that the best way to help them is to lead by example, inspire them. Because if you're able to achieve a successful weight loss transformation, guess what? They're going to be curious at the very least. They're going to start asking you questions and they're probably going to want the same results. But if you force it on them, and I know this from experience, they're just going to tune you out, unfortunately. They might even start resenting you. Just remember that you always sync to the current level of your environment. If you're in a toxic environment when it comes to work, your friends, your partner, your family, and your general surroundings at home, it's going to be almost impossible to change. But if you take control of your environment, that's when change occurs. That's when you rise above the status quo. So if you want help, help yourself. If you want to change, change your environment. Nothing changes if nothing changes. Now, here's the bonus that I promised. The next question then becomes, how are you actually supposed to eat if you want to lose weight? Because here's the thing, 80% of your body composition is determined by your diet. You can't just freestyle this part. Do you have a proven plan that you can follow? To help you with that, I want to give you a free copy of my Lean Body Blueprint. This is how I melted all the fat around my stomach without depriving myself of my favorite foods or wasting hours at the gym. It's a simple 4-step process specifically designed for busy professionals, and it's the exact same blueprint that I teach to all my private coaching clients, and they've all gone to see some amazing results. If you want to be the next success story, then download your free copy of the Lean Body Blueprint right now. There's going to be a link somewhere at the top here or in the description box. Just click on it, type in your email, and I'll send it to you right away. All right, that's all I've got. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and share it with your friends. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I post a new video every week. And hey, leave a comment below if you have any questions about this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. First, a high five.